What's good, everybody? Welcome to the 4th of July episode of Two Flew West, man. You already know it's Donnie B.GotDaBeats. I'm here with my brother Nicholas Baker. What's good, Baker? How you doing, man?
What's happening? Ready to go? Let's get it.
All right, and today we got a dope guest from back home in the DMV, man. You know we got to do what we got to do to put on for the DMV. This brother right here is so dope. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing, man. And we're proud to have him on our show. We got Lyricist, poet. Thank you, man. Lyricist, poet, ghostwriter, music educator, recording artist, man. He just covers much ground. Chairman, and I can't say chairman. I don't want to put that out in the world if it ain't true, but I'm gonna say the person who personifies Dark Squad Entertainment. We got Eclipse here. What's going on with you, Eclipse?
Nothing much, man. It's a pleasure to be here, man. I'm glad y'all got me on the show. Got a lot of things I want to share, and being able to do this with some folks from back home is definitely a pleasure. Thank you for having me, man.
No doubt. Definitely great.
Yes, indeed. We are excited to have you on. This is what it's all about for us. You know, we in Cali now, but we definitely want to highlight the DMV because there's so much talent there. We was kind of in the backstage area of the show, chopping it up. Like we definitely found out we got a lot of links that we didn't even know about. So I'm definitely excited about the interview to keep pushing forward. So with no further ado, we don't do no shucking or jiving. We get right into it.
Yeah.
Question number one, as always, who is Eclipse?
Go.
I would say Eclipse is the inner beast inside of Charles Barnes. He's like deeper insight to who Charles Barnes is. Charles Barnes, for the most part, sometimes is more of a quiet to himself guy. He's more of a loner. Eclipse is more outspoken and upfront. He touches on things that Charles Barnes might keep to himself. Eclipse is a lot more outspoken and direct with those things, while still being just as imperfect and vulnerable as Charles Barnes is.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah. How did the name Eclipse come about?
Good question.
The name Eclipse came about from actually my manager in Dark Squad Entertainment, best friend Patrice. We just going over some names and thinking about, which name should I go with. And we came up with Eclipse together because basically just speaking on how lyrically, when I'm featuring on songs, when I'm doing songs with other people, whatever light they have, I kind of darken that light and make it dimmer. So we just felt it was a perfect fit.
I like that.
I like
that. Cool. So how did you get started in music?
Man, that goes all the way back to when I was like 5 years old. Actually, my father got me started in music. My father was a drummer in the band. So he used to play like all over DC, go to all the clubs and play. When he had different gigs, he would take me with him all the time. So he used to have me on stage a lot. Even back then, he would have people pay me to dance. Back then, he would just say something like, he would say to his friends, like, watch this, do Michael Jackson. So I would start dancing like Michael Jackson, and everybody that was there started throwing 5s, 10s, and 20s at me. I had a floor full of cash around me just from dancing like Michael Jackson. So I was always kind of around that environment since kindergarten.
That's awesome. I wish my dad would have got me set up like that.
I would have hit a move or something, you know what I'm saying?
Dad, I love you, but goddamn,
I think that's dope because it's like when you know. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes kids can get put in that situation and they can shy away from it and be like, nah, come on, man. And sometimes it's like, yes, spotlight, give it to me. I want it.
Right.
Well,
let me tell you a quick little story about even from starting from there with my father. When I was in kindergarten, I was going to West Elementary School in DC, live uptown.
Yeah.
So there was a talent show that the school was doing. So I had a very small part in the show at first, and they had a whole layout and idea for the show. And I don't know, it was something about me as a kid. I was just a little lunchbox, just being honest with you. I would kind of branch off into my own world and just start doing my own thing. Even my mother told me one time, I was at the hospital with her, and she went in to see the doctor or something while I was sitting on outside of the door, and she just heard everybody cracking up laughing outside. And she said when she came out there to see what it was me out there dancing, and everybody was out there laughing and cheering me on. So back to the talent show when I was in school, you know, they had their little layout. I kind of did the same thing for what reason. I just started dancing, and the teachers saw me, and they were amazed at what they was looking at. So they ended up writing the whole talent show and making me the star of it. So that was back in kindergarten. So I've just kind of always been loving the music environment one way or another. I've just been around it, and it's been embedded in me since very young.
You was eclipsing them back then, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't even know it yet. It was there.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Listen, so I was reading your bio, and one of the things that stuck out to me, it said your music has been labeled audio music for the soul.
Yes.
Audio music for the soul. So what does that description mean to you when you see that?
Well, actually, the actual quote is audio food for the soul. Audio food for the soul. But what that means to me is, you know, I've been told by a lot of people that my music is very deep and it really touches people. So it kind of taps into people's emotion to the point where they walk with me along my personal journey while listening to my lyrics, simultaneously experiencing their own. Like I was speaking of earlier, certain things that I wrote, I had grown men responding back after listening to some of my songs and telling me how my lyrics brought tears to their eyes, and women. Some of these people were actually there and experienced some of the stuff that I mentioned in some of my songs, and some people weren't, but it stirred up something with them of personal experience that they had, that they could relate to it so much from the things that I said. It was like I was telling both of our stories at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so in those moments, like when you have those moments when someone comes to you and says like, hey man, I listened to your song and, you know, it brought tears to my eyes, or it resonated with me. I've been through the same situation. Like,
right.
What does that do for you? Like, how does that impact you when you hear that?
That's one of my greatest motivations, to be honest with you. And that's what I shoot for when I write those kinds of songs. Because I feel like music overall is about tapping into your emotions. Music has moods to it. It makes you feel certain ways when you listen to it. Some music makes you smile. It makes you happy. It makes you want to get up and dance and party. While other music might get you in a vengeful mode or make you feel like you want to go ride on somebody, or you feeling like you might feel anger from it. Right. So for people to say, you know, your lyrics or your music made me feel this certain way, it makes me feel like I'm doing exactly what I set out to do. I did my job correctly, because music should always be able to touch people one way or another.
Right.
Facts. Totally agree with that. I definitely think like that's one of the great things about being a musician and creating music, is that you can take people to certain places or certain moments in their lives, whether it's good or bad. You know, right. It can make them reflect on it, think about it. You know, it can help people, even if they've moved past it. They can be like, you know, damn, somebody was going through what I went through, right? And look where it's at now, right? And maybe they got past it, but they haven't got to where they want to. But they can look at you and be like, you know what? I can keep pushing through this because I'm hearing, you know, that message. So, yeah.
Let me ask you this question too. Okay. Since you obviously have a lot of a larger role to play in the music production than just being a recording artist. You're a lyricist, you're a poet, you're all of these things. You run the gambit, right? Right. Let me ask you your opinion. I mean, we're both music producers, me and Baker, myself, and wanted to ask, how do you feel about the saying that music is art? And what I mean by that is that a lot of people, when they see art, they take art as some take it as there has to be a certain kind of way to put, to create art. And some people just think that art just is. It's organic. It lives and breathes. So how do you feel about that being said?
I think it can be both. To be honest with you, I think music is absolutely artistic. Like some people, when they look at art, like if they look at a painting or art, it's like awe-inspiring. They're wowed by it. Musically absolutely does that. When you listen to how well a producer makes a beat and how he uses certain sounds in sync. It wows us and it sounds artistic. When you listen to lyrics, sometimes something a lyricist says, or just a rapper, sometimes these things wow you just like art does. So it's like it just hits in a way, in a very artistic way. Like I most certainly like to think of my work as art. When I'm writing my lyrics and the things that I'm writing, I definitely wanted to come off as something very artistic and not just something that I wrote down or something that I threw over top of some music and called a song. I definitely want people to see the art in my work.
That's a good thought. And I say that just because I mean I look at people like if I could throw this is my opinion, people don't roast me on it, but I look at it like somebody like Tyler the Creator to me is like the Basquiat of music, right? Like he just he's fearless. He just does sonically what you see Basquiat do, what he did with his paintings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Saying that and you juxtapose that with the thought that music is just theory. There's no set law, really. It's just theory. So how can you be wrong in music? You know what I mean? So I wanted to ask you that perspective. That's why I asked you that question.
Well, I agree with that because I feel like, when it comes to music, you should have creative freedom. Like you got to take risks sometimes and try new and different things because you never know what's going to hit. At the end of the day, I don't care how great you are at what you do. There's always going to be somebody. There's always going to be naysayers that's going to say differently. A lot of people say that Michael Jackson is the greatest entertainer of all time. You're going to have a bunch of people that's going to say, no, it's not as Prince, or Chris Brown's a better dancer. That's just how it goes.
Right.
Always have that creative freedom to do what you want with music. If it hits, it hits. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But with all the rules and laws that say that you can't try it, you should. Because you never know what ground you can break with trying something new and different.
Right.
No, that's real talk. Because, I think, especially in music now, I think too many people do get boxed in. And they feel like I have to do this style, sound like this, do this type of music, because that's what people want to hear. And that's all they're going to take from me, right? And that can box you in, and your creativity gets stale, right? So it's like, I think it's super important to always try what you feel. Like musicians, if you put them in a box, man, they're gonna fall off. Like you can't help it. It's just you're gonna fall off because you're like closing in the creativity, and that's what music's all about, creativity.
But on the flip side to that, I gotta say this: I do also feel like a lot of artists fall off because they don't stick to what made the fans love them in the first place. Sometimes artists get to a point where they try to appeal to what's more modern and they stray away from what built their fan base, because your fan base is going to rock with you for life. As long as you're providing them with the kind of content that they want, they always going to rock with you, and they have certain expectations of you. So when you put new music out, that's what your fans that's been loyal to you and been rocking with you are going to expect and want to hear. And when you stray away from what built that fan base, it could hurt you as an artist at the same time.
No, I love that. Like that's a great point, because what you're speaking to is what I feel like is when artists reach for what's the now, right?
Right.
And I don't necessarily think that's what you need to do. I think if you have something that's in you that you're like, okay, I've been feeling this just left.
Right.
I really want to try it. It's true to me. Then you should try it. You shouldn't feel like, well, I don't want to do it because no one's, they may not feel me on this. But you also shouldn't reach for that. Oh, well, this is what's hip now, so I'm gonna do this because that's what everybody else doing. You feel what I'm saying? So I think you bring up a great point with it's a line that you got to play. Like you definitely want to give the people what they want because they follow you and they rock with you. But you got to do what's like in here. Like if it's in here, you gotta let it out.
I agree, because I mean, in those situations, you might want to baby step with something new. You might not want to smack everybody over the head with maybe a full entourage of it, but you might want to dip your toe and kind of see how people respond to it before going full-fledged that route.
Yeah.
Take these beats.
Ain't nothing wrong with trying something new and different. I ain't got nothing against that at all.
Well, listen, Who would you say are your influences when it comes to music?
I think music itself overall is my greatest influence. It's not really one particular artist, or it's not just with rap. I'm influenced by musicians, period. Anything from people who play guitar to the drums, or how a band plays together in sync. You know, one of my biggest inspirations or influence was Jackson when I was younger, but my favorite rapper is Scarface. I was influenced by Ice Cube and NWA growing up. So it just varies. I think it's just music overall. It's like I like to dissect music. I don't really listen to it all clumped together. Like when I hear a song, I hear the song broken up in pieces. I'm paying attention to everything. How the strings were used, how the drums were laid, the bells that were put in and how they fit with the drums, the hook that was written, like the whole nine.
You gotta produce, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That makes me think of a question, like just thinking of how you're dissecting music. When you're creating music for yourself, when you're creating a song, like what's your process? How does that happen?
My process varies depending on the song. It's more of a mood thing for me. Like sometimes I might already have a concept and idea in my head, and I might just be looking for the right beat to write it down. Or sometimes I just hear a beat and something automatically comes to me, and I'm like, I got it. I might not even know the title of my song yet. I'll just start writing it, and then I base the title off the hook that I wrote after I wrote the lyrics. I usually write the verses first and then write the hook, but I have done it in reverse as well. I actually wrote one song, literally, I wrote this song in my sleep. I was literally sleeping, and I was going over the lyrics. I kept hearing the beat over and over again in my head while I was asleep. I had the hook, both of the verses in my head, and I woke up the next morning and just remembered everything, and I hurried up and jotted it in my phone before I forgot it, and then I went and recorded it.
Man, that's the magic moments right there, boy. When you go to sleep, boy, you trying to get back to that same sleep again. Be like, man.
That's the only time I actually done that, though. But yeah. I have pulled it off one time.
Awesome.
I think I was just really feeling that track so much that I couldn't get it out of my head. Even in my sleep, it was spinning around in my brain. So subconsciously, I ended up putting the lyrics to it while I was sleeping.
Yeah, that's awesome. That means you were tuned in for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Next question is the hypothetically speaking question of the day. All right, so if you could do an album with one producer, budget isn't an issue, any producer out there, who would it be? But they're doing the whole album with you.
Without question, Dr. Dre, D.R.E. He's always been my favorite producer since the Niggas for Life album. Like Dre just do, I don't know, more so his older productions for me is what really got me more so than the newer stuff he's been doing. But coming up, Dre just, I don't know, he touched my ear different because I felt like he's one of the only producers to me that could take very simple patterns and make them sound genius. Like he had the most simplest bass line or bass pattern, but the way he made it sound couldn't be duplicated by somebody else.
Yeah.
So without question, it would be Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's facts.
Baker.
Oh, you already know mine. Mine is JD. It's still Jermaine Dupri. Like I think it's the same. I think it's the same thing though. It's
right.
It's that like attention to detail, right?
Yeah.
That the sound is just different. Like JD done put up videos of him working on a bass drum for hours, right, trying to make sure it's right where it needs to be. And I think that's what Dre does is that sound that people are like, I can't get it nowhere else because it's meticulous when it comes to detail. And you know, it can be a gift and a curse because it takes him a while. It takes him a while to get it done.
That's why we ain't get the Detox album. He's so much of a perfectionist. It could be one little thing. Everybody else around him is loving it. And if that snare is off just by a little bit, he ain't trying to put it out. I actually was reading an article where Snoop was talking about he hated the song Deep Cover. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what? That song was a big hit. Everybody was loving Deep Cover. And Snoop was talking about how Dre hated the song.
Yep.
And I'm like that too. That's why my album ain't out yet, though. I'm definitely a perfectionist with my stuff. My album could have been out, but I'm the type that will work on one song. I might redo it 5 times or just keep changing and trying to perfect that one song till I get to that satisfactory point. I just wanted to be as perfect as possible.
Right.
Yeah, no, I can definitely feel you and attest to the same thing. I got songs and music in the clip that ain't been out there yet, just because of the same thing. Man, I should have done this. So, man, I need to go back and tweak this. So, you know what I mean? So, I definitely understand where you're coming from when it comes to that.
Hey, Eclipse, let me tell you something. You can do a post, a tally in the DMV area about Blue Water Symphony,
Right?
And I guarantee you, it's gonna be a lot of people like, "Yo, there's 2." Yeah. So I mean, and that's a good thing because people, you got people waiting on it. Like,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool. So, moving on. Tell us more about Dark Squad Entertainment.
Oh, Dark Squad Entertainment was founded with me and my manager and best friend, Patrice Holden. Actually, the whole way it came together was I was in a group back in the day called Dark Alley. So this was back in 98, 99. We put out an album, which is an underground classic in the DC area.
Yeah,
the people that knew about it loved it. They consider it underground classic, and they look at us as legends because of that album. It was called As the World Turns. So back then, we were, as far as we know, the first people from this area to actually start an open mic spot where artists perform their music, network, and share with other artists. We had the rap battles going on. My manager back in a company called Flip the Script Entertainment, his name was Damon McWilliams, me, him, and one of my other friends, Educator. We had the label Flip the Script Entertainment. So we had the first open mic spot. Each Section 8 and all of them used to come down there. That's how I know Nitty and Gotti and them, because they used to come to our spot. It was down on U Street, right next to Republic Gardens and Club U.
Yep.
It was a little rinky-dink spot. It was all we had back then, and everybody used to come down there and love it. And there was a whole lot of fire talent that was being exposed in the DMV area back then. So long story short, I was doing that till about 2004. And then I ended up walking away from the group that I was in, Dark Alley, and I started to work on a solo album back then. But I ended up never finishing it and walked away from music, period, for almost 20 years. So Patrice, being my best friend, she heard some of the old stuff that I did. She thought I was very talented and loved me as an artist. So she had been trying to push me back into music for years. And I wasn't really feeling it. Like, for me, I was just kind of done with it. So one day, she kind of forced me back in, and that's how Dark Squad Entertainment was born. She came to me one day and said, look, this is what we're doing. You're doing a hip-hop literacy program with some kids. Put a program together. Here's the date. Here's the time. And I'm looking at her like, what? So from there, I did that with So What Else. They ended up loving what I did. It blew up. So then they wanted to hire me permanently. I became director of music. And that's how the music therapy program was born, as well as Dark Squad Entertainment.
Dope. Shout out Patrice. Getting them back into it.
That also led to putting this solo album out that I'm about to pull out. All of that is all connected.
Hey, you never know. You never know when it's gonna come back. They do say, like, it's
right.
If it's always pulling at you a little bit, it's that passion that you have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's great that, like, you pushed you to get back into it, but it was there. It was simmering. You might not even know it, but if someone can get you back, that means something is pulling you. Like, okay,
right.
All right, you right. Let's get to it. So that's dope.
Hey, Mama Spider, I see you. Appreciate you.
Hey, they coming through in the chat room. Real live.
Yeah, man. Appreciate all y'all, man. Y'all support me, everything to me. That's why I'm doing this. Y'all keep me motivated, man.
You definitely got big support. Once we put up, like, the flyer of you being on the show, just saw big support coming in for, like, oh, this is gonna be the one. We gonna be tuned in. We about to so, like, what you're doing is working because you got people behind you that believe in the vision that you're putting out there. So
that's fact.
Big ups for that.
Receiving much love and support from a lot of people in UK, just from a whole lot of different places. All my family, friends, people I know, and a lot of people I don't know. Like people DMing me all the time, telling me how they came across my music and they loving it and they want to work with me and when's my album coming out. Like I've been getting a lot of positive feedback and responses from what I've been doing. So I'm very happy with where we at. Hey, cuz, I see you. It's my cousin Latonya. But look, that's what I'm talking about. They come through for me, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. And you know, you was talking about that open mic. Like we were talking to Nonchalant last week, and we were just like, really like saying how we need to highlight the history of like hip hop and music in the DMV.
Right.
We definitely know the history of go-go, and it's strong, but like I think the DMV rap scene doesn't get highlighted as much. I think
not at all.
Different people do different pieces of it.
Yeah.
I'm really like hoping to see that more people come together and just start plugging in some of these pieces of the story that happen. Because it's a lot. It's a lot that happened. There's a lot of fire artists that were there that were coming through, like laying the groundwork for what's going on now.
Right.
So I'm really hoping it happens.
There's plenty of talent here in this area. We're like a undiscovered gem here. It's a lot of talented artists in this area, and I feel like every area has their time where this city gets put on and they blow. I think one of the things that we need to work on in this area, personally, my personal opinion, and I know others will agree with me, is supporting each other more. I think we need to come together and really be supportive of each other. If we supported each other more, then we would definitely be in a different place because the talent is here, but a lot of artists here don't support each other like they should.
Well, would you say it's because it's just as much talent as there is ego?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
I think people get caught up in that place of if I push you, you're gonna take my shine.
Right.
And it's like, nah, you actually gonna help us all shine more.
Exactly.
Each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big part of this show. Like you know, both of us out here, but it was like we know what's there, right? So if we can create a platform that's like, hey, we're not just talking to DMV artists, but we for damn sure gonna be talking to DMV artists because we know how much talent is there. And we want to push people their flowers and make sure people know and hear about what they've been doing and what they're doing, what they got coming next. So that's a big part of this whole platform is to make sure that we shine light on that talent that's in that area. So
I agree 100%.
So you talked about this a little bit previously. Just give us a little more. Tell us about the work that you do with So What Else Incorporated.
All right, so the work I do with So What Else, I mostly work with inner city youth. A lot of these kids that live in the hood, they growing up in those kind of environments. A lot of them are fatherless. You know, I grew up, I mentioned my father earlier, how he got me into music. And at the same time, my father's also been absent in my life, meaning through substance abuse. My father's an alcoholic and always has been growing up. So even though my father might have been in the same house with me growing up, there still was a disconnect. It was like he wasn't there because that's just, he always chose alcohol over me. And so I can kind of relate to a lot of what these fatherless kids, how they feel and what they're going through. So, when I work with them, I teach them things of how to flip their emotions and things they're thinking and feeling inside out and how to transfer those feelings, emotions, vulnerabilities, or whatever they are, and to put them in lyric form or put that stuff on paper and express it poetically. I do different things, like I make up different contests or competitive games for them, like involving music where they can compete and win prizes. So it's just a matter of giving back to the community and trying to give to them the things that I was lacking coming up.
Love it.
That's dope. Have you heard of Conscious the MC?
You say I've ever met him?
Yeah. Have you heard of him?
No. You from this area?
Yeah. But like does similar work. You know what I'm saying? Working with inner city youth and doing kind of music-based projects.
Okay.
Does a lot of work with like he raps with a symphony. Like does that type of work. Like we got to connect. Again, this is what it's all about, trying to really make these connections with people doing the same like type of work, and making it even bigger. So make sure we get you like we'll link you with that page so y'all can do that because I think y'all can do some great work.
Definitely, I'm with it.
Yes, indeed. So we about to get into some of your work.
Okay.
The first thing we're gonna do is check out a video for your single "Game Over."
Okay.
Anything you want to tell us about the single, how it came about, the video, anything you want to talk about before we show?
The song "Game Over" is my attempt to. It's a lot of people who feel like the golden era of rap is gone dead or it's missing and it's not enough of it. So I wanted my attempt to be one of those artists that take it back to those bars and that lyrical content that people are missing from back in the days, because the music scene has changed drastically with a lot going on, with the new or what the kids are doing, like the mumble rappers and so on. There's a lot of people from our era that want to hear the kind of music that we had back in the day. So this is me trying to provide those people with that kind of music while also putting the message out there that when I get in that door, it's a game over situation.
Yes, indeed.
So beware, because I'm coming. Like once I get in, I'm here to dominate.
Hey, do me a favor. Let's switch that. I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties pulling up "Game Over." Can we do "Trust and Betrayal"?
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's talk about "Trust and Betrayal."
Sorry about that.
So "Trust and Betrayal" was a song that I wrote. It actually was the second song that I wrote for my album coming up called Unfinished Business. "Trust and Betrayal" is a list of different personal real experiences that I've been through. So the things I talk about in "Trust and Betrayal" is very real and authentic stuff. There's not just something I made up and wrote down like as a song. Like I've really been through or seen or been around the stuff that I'm talking about in this song. I've been betrayed by my own family. So that's why it's called Trust and Betrayal, because some of the closest people to you that you trust can be the quickest people stab you in the back. Some people that aren't related to you by blood are more family to you than those that are.
Yeah.
So
that's totally right. All right. So with no further ado, Eclipse, God Squad Entertainment, Trust and Betrayal. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
The streets are cold-hearted, no love in the drug games. The crack epidemic is with so many thugs slain. Victims of Satan's bait, chasing power and wealth. It's the love of money that's evil, not the money itself. It's the difference between the two. Try to keep that in mind. The most poisonous recipe, greed and envy combined. That's just part of the package deal from the start of your grind. Right along with those smiling faces who'll be crossing the line. You will find that dollar signs often lead to deceit. Your body beneath the sheet, surfing slicker than sleep. Someone weaves in with the weak, crooked grin when they greet. Double cross and scheming against you, keep your business discreet. They starving, they want to eat, about to run in your residence. Demand the code to the safe, search for bricks of the president. Left for dead with no hesitance, discarded all evidence. Hate to ride from Satan and it's been that way ever since. A trap in the dead end, get out while you can. Before it plays the violent talk between you and your man. Trust turns into betrayal, not according to plan. So be prepared for the worst when you play in your hand. Everybody is a suspect, family will do you dirty. I know so many niggas who got murdered before they 30s. You better stay sharp first, second, and even thirdly. These streets are cold-blooded, you heard me? And don't you ever put stock in the word called friend. You'll find out it's every man for himself in the end. History can be misleading cause these niggas pretend. And it's only a matter of time before the rules start to bend. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's been cooking up for a while, hatred growing within. Now they looking up with a smile, they just know how to blend. Catch you sleeping and in denial, throwing caution to win. Now they creeping across your tiles with some help from your kin. Close relationships been defiled so these traitors can win. Should've spotted this from a mile. smile. It was showing back then, but when you're living this lifestyle, 9 times out of 10, your name ends up in the file or your cage in the bin. The money stacking in piles, then these bosses run in. Through these tribulations and trials, things are twisting, they spin. There's not a soul you can trust, no, not even your twin. It's a trap in the dead end, get out while you can, before it plays the vibe talk between you and your man. Trust turns into betrayal, not according to plan. So be prepared for the worst when you play in your hand. Everybody is a suspect, family will do you dirty. I know so many niggas who got murdered before they 30s. You better stay sharp first, second, and even thirdly. The streets are cold-blooded, you heard me? The main ones you need to watch are the ones who are close to you. Though they may not be as obvious as the snakes who oppose to you. They 10 steps ahead, knowing your game like you're supposed to do. You reap what you sow for anything that you chose to do. To make matters worse, the police start to investigate. Mouths have started running, especially those who invest in hate. Testing faith for deceptive power of riches. Once the heat is on, the hardest of them can turn into snitches. So be careful what the things you do and say right in front of them. Blood ain't always thicker than water, don't trust none of them. Learn this for myself firsthand, what can become of them. Betrayal cut me deep, I'm a skeptic of very one of them. Be sure to pay attention when I look in the man's eyes. Attention often brings out the truth in the man's lies. Secrets never mentioned, go to the grave when the man dies. Prevention of me slipping surely shows when a man's wise. It's a trap in the dead end, get out while you can, before it plays the divide and conquer between you and your man. Trust turns into betrayal, not according to plan. So be prepared for the worst when you play in your hand. Everybody is a suspect, family will do you dirty. I know so many niggas who got murdered before they 30s. You better stay sharp first, second, and even thirdly. The streets are cold-blooded, you heard me?
X-ray.
That part.
Yes, indeed. Trust the betrayer.
Hey man, that's facts right there. That's shoot. That's code of the streets that there DMV boy. For sure.
Hey, it definitely hits home. Like, you know, everybody is suspect. You know what I mean? Family is dirty. And I mean, that's real. You know what I mean? Like,
it is.
It sucks. You know what I mean? Because you still want to love them. You got the blood running through you, but dang, that be the one that hurt. That hurt the worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I gotta say too, like the fact that you that just over the music, the choice of the music, the drum program, and everything, like being over here, like it's just not that type of hip hop over here. You know what I mean? At least in the Southern Cal, I can't speak for no Cal, but down here it's not really that type of. They don't. It's not that vibe. They can't. Right. So you know what I mean? It really, yeah. It took me home for a second. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, man.
And the bars. I heard the bars.
And the bars.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Good to hear. Like
you said, we're in a time now where bars don't seem to matter.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's like, this is trash, right? And
right.
That'd be like, this is trash. But it's good to hear the solid like production, to hear you can tell you put thought into your lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So definitely great work. Dope song, nice visuals. Who put the visuals together?
The guy who put the visuals together for me was my man Zoe, who also he works with me with the kids. Actually, after we met, he came on with someone else with me and Patrice. But he has this company called X-Ray Cinema. So yeah, we came up with the concept. Me and Patrice, we pitched it to him, and between the three of us, we was able to bring it to life.
Dope. Shout out to X-Ray Cinema. Hit him up if you need some visuals. Got dope visuals.
I got it.
Right.
Go ahead. We got Game Over too, by the way. That's on you, brother. If you want to move with the move, I got it together.
I want to make sure we get to that exclusive we got. I want to make sure we can get through that because I'm excited about that. So, but we make it in the show with it. So we'll make it happen. All right, Eclipse. We're about to do kind of a new question, a segment of the show. You're gonna be the first person to try this out with. Here it is. We want you to share with us one not so popular opinion that you had. Now it can be as deep or as lighthearted as you want, but you got to be able to defend this one not so popular opinion that you have.
My one not so popular opinion, and y'all probably gonna bomb on me, is I'm not a fan of basketball. I never have been.
I'm going with you. We are.
My favorite sport has always been boxing, always been about them hands. Basketball never been my thing. I can't play basketball. I suck at it. So that might be why I don't like it.
Man, I can't even ask. Look, we've been asking everybody on the show who you got in the NBA Finals. So you don't watch it at all. You don't look at it.
I don't know who the players are. I mean, I know the big names, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, like them, but I don't keep up with it at all. I don't watch the championship. Just don't.
Okay, but do you watch football?
I do. Well, I haven't watched football in about 3 years now. I used to watch football a lot. It was my second favorite sport. Okay, but it's always been number one.
But I gotta ask you, who was your team, brother? Who was your team?
I mean, it couldn't be none other than the Scans. I'm from DC.
Thank you. Okay, we you know there's a faction that we choose not to them people who
it ain't the Cowboys, that's for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We can't can't even glorify that. This not even do that. I'm just saying. I just had to ask because I get it. And I'm not a big I watch basketball and I don't know. I got all this head. I got, you know what I mean? Like I process stuff differently. But I don't watch basketball like that really. You know what I'm saying? But football, I do. So I get that. I can't even mad at you for sure.
Well, you said boxing is your favorite sport. So like what do you feel about how do you feel about the boxing scene now? Like who's your favorite fighter? What do you think?
My favorite fighter right now is Manny Pacquiao. That's my number one favorite fight. I mean, I like a lot of the fighters out there, but I've been rocking with Pac since, you know what I'm saying, since the early days.
You don't think Pac about to get that head knocked off?
I think it's very possible. I'm a little nervous going into this one, man. 42. Yeah, it's very possible, but I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled it off. But yeah, most likely that's what's going to happen. I'm not ready to see that.
It's going to be a different type of thriller in Manila, I'm telling you.
I'm not ready to see that. But if he do win, we're going to have this conversation on another day.
That's cool. I'm not against it. I'm against it. But it's just like, bro, like, that's like when you saw Bernard Hopkins last we seen Bernard Hopkins, he was out in the ring.
When he got knocked out the ring,
You know. I hope boxing really gets to that point back where like some of these major fights happen because like
they're taking too long.
I'm so torn with it. Like I understand this side of it where you know it's almost like the NBA right now where boxers are like I want to make the bag. I want to make sure the fights are the fights that get me you know the money. And they don't if they can have less risk. You know, Floyd is kind of pushing that narrative of less risk, but at the same time,
he started a whole new mindset with that. Now everybody's adapted. It wasn't like that back in the day. Back in the day, all of the best fighters, everybody fought each other in their primes. They just took turns fighting each other. We don't get that nowadays. The fights that we should get, we either don't get them or they take too long before we actually get them. And other fights that we should have got, we miss out on because by the time we line at least two of them up, the rest of them have come out of their prime or they not like they were when they all could have been fighting each other at their absolute best.
Yeah,
that's definitely missing from boxing today.
Yeah, I hope they get that squared away. Like I definitely want to see people get their bag. I definitely understand people wanting to retire and have all their kind of functions together. I get all that. But I mean, you know, for the love of the sport, I definitely hope they figure out a way to do a little bit better of best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So coming to an exciting part of the show, we got an exclusive on Two Flew West. That's right, an exclusive. We're gonna be able to kind of debut a song that you have coming out called "Eyes of a Desperate Man."
Yes.
Pretty introspective song.
Lend your ears to my journey. This is my story right here.
Dope. So exclusive here on Two Flew West, Eyes of a Desperate Man. We got Eclipse. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
False pops to an overdose, I'm still in the room. Odds against me from the beginning, I was already doomed. Only God knows what will happen from my birth to the tomb. So I entered into the world, my rap was felt in the room. Came out screaming aggressively, a fighter was born. It's my introduction to Genesis, from there it was on. No idea once I got old how many deaths I would mourn. Should I seek revenge or forgiveness? My emotions were torn. Mom's two parents in one, she tried to guide me the most. Pops was right there in the house, but still his presence was ghost. Too far gone to reach from those so physically close. A broken home, intoxication played the role as my host. Upbringing beyond the norm, I guess was setting the stage for the journey that I'm explaining about my coming of age. Over time, tears turn to anger, all the pain turn to rage. Now you had a peek at my childhood, I'll be turning the page. Cause you ain't been where I've been, you ain't seen what I seen. You ain't walked in my shoes, have no idea what I mean. You ain't built for my blues, nor the things in between. In the eyes of a desperate man. So when I reflect on all the things that I've been through, thinking of all the wakes and cemeteries I've been to, the bloodshed of friends and relatives that I'm kin to, how could you ever understand? Eyes of a desperate man. 2692, I was 12 years old. Woke up with no idea life was about to unfold. Young nigga running the streets who rarely did what was told. It was Sunday, the day the Skins won their last Super Bowl. 2 weeks prior, a premonition came to my mother. Then a nightmare that kept haunting her about losing her brother. She woke up feeling disturbed, although the dreaming now ended. It kept lingering through the day, her pain and fear was extended. Feeling easy heading to work, like the darkness was hurrying. Though she knew he was still alive, still had trouble recovering. The type of thing to stick with you, hard to leave it behind. So she wanted work off the dread that dominated her mind. Eventually she got through it as the week went along. Day by day and got back to normal from the fear that go long. Was glad it was just a dream, finally came around. What was hard to renovate and was no longer around. Get back to the 26th, we were watching the game. Everyone invited him over, he declined, never came. Uncle Chris was like my big brother, from the start we were tight. The last thing he said to me was, I see you later tonight. Went to hang with this nigga Kevin, he ain't seen about a year. It was all over my face, my disappointment was clear. Still enjoyed the game, but the family play by play as I cheered. It just wasn't the same without him thinking he needed to be here. I kept calling my Uncle Chris to ask him, come watch it with me. There's no way that I was prepared for what was about to hit me. Was restless and couldn't sleep and feel that something was wrong. Something evil was in the air and its attendance was strong. Chapter 4 a.m. in the morning, I sat up on my bed. Homicide called to inform us that my uncle was dead. Visions of him shot in the back, chasing his breath as he bled. Saying something was final moments, known as death's near ahead. Like flashing before his eyes while the bullets are burning. In the panic, coughing the blood, minutes from no returning. Seeing faces of all his family as we struggling to breathe. That he never leaving behind, who were destined to grieve. Walking out the door to meet Leslie out in front of the building. When his shot and broken to pieces, knowing that somebody killed him. Then arriving at grandma's house, homicide, that I said. Walking up the steps, all the hairs are standing up on my skin. My uncle's loading up clips, ready to ride and go get them. I wanted in on the action, they would not take me with them. This situation was drastic, I was ready to shoot. Got me leaning over his casket, dropping tears on his suit. Murder hurts on a different level, not your average laws. Not the same as losing a loved one to a natural cause. While the preacher telling lies, trying to convince me God had to take him up. The grandmother destroyed, screaming desperately, trying to wake him up. You ain't been where I've been, you ain't seen what I seen. You ain't walked in my shoes, have no idea what I mean. You ain't built for my blues, nor the things in between. In the eyes of a desperate man. So when I reflect on all the things that I've been through, thinking of all the wakes and cemeteries I've been to, the bloodshed of friends and relatives that I'm kin to, how could you ever understand? Eyes of a desperate man. My soul left my body, I'm empty, left with a broken heart. Found a way to cope, this is about the time of a smoking star. Things I've seen in movies just becoming my life. I'm a different person now, we just got a heart full of strife. They weren't even after my uncle, they were trying to kill Kevin. But he lived and my uncle died, but God was watching from heaven. They ain't take him and didn't cause it, he just allowed it to happen. Absolutely nothing to do with when the hammer was clapping. Let's jump ahead to 2000, I'm your now 21. All the niggas around me selling drugs and packing the gun. I done seen it all from different angles up under the sun. The thing is, the loss of my uncle was just where it begun. Now working at UPS, coming home from my shift. Even though officially gone, I still continue to drift. New Carrollton subway station, about to hop on the bus. No plans of coming back out, this wasn't enough to discuss. Then I heard a voice in my head that told me walk down the hill. Wasn't feeling it, but I listened and decided I will. Coming down 85th Avenue, my niggas was real. The first one that I saw was Earl, something told me to chill. So I changed my mind and figured I'd spend some time around the way. Being Earl became inseparable the rest of that day. It was mostly just me and him. Until every hour went by, we were smoking J after J, all the time spent high. It's after 10 p.m. instinctively noticed something ain't right. Finally going home and Earl was supposed to come spend the night. Said he'd meet me in about an hour and had to make a few sales. But these streets have become so wicked on a much grander scale. I remember first day I met him and I tell you no lie. Had a vision to heard a voice to say he'd be first to die. The world is becoming worse, so much blood has been spilled. Dirt is calling me the next morning saying Earl was killed. Cause you ain't been where I've been, you ain't seen what I seen. You ain't walked in my shoes, have no idea what I mean. You ain't built for my blues, nor the things in between. In the eyes of a desperate man, so when I reflect on all the things that I've been through, thinking of all the wakes and cemeteries I've been to, the bloodshed of friends and relatives that I'm kin to. How could you ever understand? Eyes of a desperate man. Years later, 04, I would never forget. This the year things hit the hardest, I would have to admit. Some things you never see coming, and how much worse can it get? Many times when I see bodies put 6 feet in the pit. Flashback to 89, I met one around 10. Yeah, we had to cover the fights, and most of them I ain't win. Right after we end up laughing back to brothers again. Never saw us without the other, that was the story back then. From Lady Park to Bellcrest to Nicholas Hall. From elementary to in our 20s and the minds was formed. Didn't matter what came our way, we always weathered the storm. Thinking back on how young we was when evil started to swarm. Had a dream, him and Muhammad died in 2003. Both shot to death with a pistol. Will these days come to be? Only time will tell, I guess it I'll eventually see. And if so, then why did these bitches come directly to me? We were sitting down in my basement when I told him about it. Tried to warn him about his path, the hopes of change and reroute it. Knowing the type of nigga he was, I had no choice but to doubt it. Street life was all that he knew, couldn't describe him without it. Pops on his way into work, reading the Washington Post. So an article unexpectedly that hurt him the most. February 5th, the day before I turned 25, my pops called me to let me know Donnie's no longer alive. Same position again, I just don't know what to do. Like my mother, the premonition and my dreams come true. It was hard for me to believe he had actually inspired. Then years later, they shot my mama and set his body on fire. Earlier, I mentioned Derek, younger brother of Earl. Didn't matter what hood I lived in, all my niggas was thorough. He took Earl dust pretty hard, couldn't deal with the pain. So the phone with him the moment that his brother was slain. And he kept calling his name, and now he's fearing the worst. Earl never responded back due to effects of the curse. He was speeding, trying to get through him while the tears would just burst. Snatched his heart right out of his chest, saying I'm right off in the hearse. So I'm afterward a few times, here and there we were chilling. I could see the hurt in his eyes and knew the things he was feeling. Kept in touch every so often, saying increasing the distance. Prayed for him that he could strip from Holy Spirit assistance. Years past, I haven't seen him since 2002. Now he's pulling up at my house, him and the sun out the blue. Was glad to see him and happy that he chose to come through. Pretty much my circle is small and he's just one of a few. He hung out with me and my cousin right about 2 a.m. Something's different about this visit, he wasn't acting like him. It's like something was on his mind and all his energy's grim. The light at the end of the tunnel possibly could be dim. Sometimes in life we need answers and we're forced to ask why. Turns out that Derek came over to say his final goodbye. He was suffering from depression, suicidal on meds. Those calling to let me know he shot himself in the head. 4 months right after blood, that's just another one gone. Never know when each day will bring from start to dusk until dawn. And later on in the year, about the month of November, 2 days after Thanksgiving, it's really close to December. My phone rings again, it's another call from my nigga. Oh, this time passing the news, somebody just killed my nigga Mo. Point there's no question, Armageddon is near. Just lost 3 of my closest friends months apart the same year. The violence never got better, all it did was increase. 2013, my cousin Wayne was killed by police. Everything I speak is the truth that you heard in my rhymes. Closing out with my cousin burning, they shot him 17 times. Cause you ain't been where I've been, you ain't seen what I seen. You ain't walked in my shoes, have no idea what I mean. You ain't built for my blues, nor the things in between. In the eyes of a desperate man. So when I reflect on all the things that I've been through, thinking of all the wakes and cemeteries I've been to, the bloodshed of friends and relatives that I'm kin to. How could you ever understand? Eyes of a desperate man.
Gonna keep on listening, people close to me. Tell me, is this the way that my life was supposed to be? Am I missing something? What am I supposed to see through the eyes of a desperate man? The violence all around me never seems to stop, even though the smallest things the pistol seems to pop. Every year that passes by, my body seems to drop in the eyes of a desperate man.
Yes, sir.
You gotta let it digest. You gotta let it you gotta take it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like so many questions, but like how did that come about? Like that's such a soul dump, right? Like just letting it all out over the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't imagine. Maybe it did, but did it start? Did you think it would be like 10 minutes? Did you think when you started it would be that, or did it just the pen kept going?
Yeah, I mean, be honest with you, it was a whole lot of stuff I left out. I had to stop it at 10 minutes because it was so much content to put in one song. So I knew it was definitely going to be longer than the average song. I wasn't really sure it was going to be 10 minutes, but as I was writing it, I knew it was like, I got to wrap this up because I could write a whole nother 10 or 20-minute song with the stuff I left out.
Yeah.
So I knew it was definitely going to be a long one because it was really hard. I wanted to tell the story and not just mention some things. Like I wanted people to actually, I wanted to paint a visual picture. So when you listening to it, it's like a movie. You see the stuff as I'm delivering it to you lyrically. So I knew I couldn't fit that within 316 bars verses. I needed to just do what I like to just really let it all out and tell the story the real way that it happened.
Yeah. And that I think that goes back to the point we talked about earlier, where it's like if something is true to hear, it may be different, but do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it tears down some of the constraints of, oh, it has to be 2 or 3 verses that are 16 bars, and the song needs to be at least 3 minutes. All those little things that people try to throw at you. Like when it's that, right? That's that heartfelt music. That's that audio food for the soul, right?
Yeah.
It's that.
Absolutely.
You gotta let it do what it do. You just gotta let it be. Like, hey, it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. Like, that's why, you know, when we talked about playing it, it was like, nah, we're gonna play it. Like, if we
right.
Like, I want to play it because I get it. It's one of those things that you gotta listen through all the way.
Absolutely.
It definitely plays like a movie. Like as you're spitting it, I see, like in my own head, with visuals.
That's exactly what I was shooting for. I wanted people to see everything that I was talking about. That was very important to me. So I was like, I'm gonna have to break the rules on this one.
Yeah. I mean, but you did it successfully. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank you.
I would love to see you do a visual for it. You know what I mean? Like a short movie type of situation to put that together.
The X-Ray Cinema guy actually mentioned that to me and said he wanted to do that because he was actually going through something at the time where he just lost a close friend of him that had committed suicide. So the manager, Patrice, actually sent him that song and told him to listen to it. And he related to it, so it really resonated with him and he was feeling it. And he said that very like, man, I want to do like a short movie. We need to make a video for this song. I'm already seeing a vision for how we can do this. So I might actually make that happen.
You should.
Yeah.
Immediately.
It speaks to it. Like it just in playing the song, you know what I mean? My own characters are there in a sense, like of what I see.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think when songs do that, when it automatically gives you that visual,
right?
Like
You basically you got a whole soundtrack, no video with it. I mean, no movie with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's rare.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've been quiet the whole time. I really like listening to the bars. Like, yo, it's phenomenal. And I think the thing that I spent a lot of the time, like who would be my, like, I would love to hear a feature
right
with you on it, like well, somebody to feature with you, like Montana, or shout out Killer Fats, or even Bugsy Streets, like, you know what I mean? You hear a lot of these, throwback folks that's like, yo, they be crazy with it. But I mean, again, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying,
right.
Resonate with me. That I'm like would totally be in line with what you're doing, yo. Like your sound is crazy. I could definitely hear the Scarface influences. I could definitely hear, but it's like it almost sucks to say that they're influencers because you are so genuine and you are so dope at your craft. You know what I mean? It almost, you know what I mean? And I don't want to throw no shade on. At the end of the day, bro, you're doing a damn good thing, brother. Like,
thank you.
Really, really good to hear, man.
Yeah, I would love to hear a Montana Eclipse.
Yeah.
That would have been, he had that same thing.
I feel like I missed that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? We was supposed to make that happen.
Yeah. That would have been dope. But yeah, man, like shout out to that song, man. That's no easy feat to paint pictures like that while rhyming, like because there are certain things you gotta follow the rules by in the sense of just rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rapping that story, but painting such a vivid picture is definitely not an easy task. So hey, shouts out to you for that, man. That's a great piece of work, and I look forward to what you're gonna do with it, and when you put it out. When do you plan to release the song officially?
When my album comes out, it's in the mixing and mastering stages. I've done all the recording that I needed to do, so I'm just polishing everything up. So I'm trying my best to get this album out, hopefully early August. So I'm about to really grind hard over these next couple of weeks, just doing little minor tweaks, just making sure everything sounds leveled right, and all the little small stuff that I need to do to just smoothen it out. And this album's long overdue and really needs to get out. So it's going to end my album. It's going to be the last song to close my album out.
Yeah. Patrice, we saw that comment. We definitely going to collab. I'm in the Bay. Donnie is in LA. So we out here in Cali trying to do it up, and we definitely going to connect and make some things happen out here because we definitely like what you're doing. The next question was what's next? So we know the album is coming in August.
Yes.
Anything else that you want to put out there that you got on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, as I just spoke of, the very next thing would be the release of my album, along with an album release party, of course. And from there, I just want to really broaden and expand the music therapy program, like outside of So What Else. I've done work in the past with NAACP in the public school systems, and I kind of just want to broaden that to other areas, other hoods, other states, and kind of just take it other places. As well as since we got more freedom, from the pandemic now, I want to get back on stage and do some performing as well.
Yes, sir. Well, our last question is always, where can people find you online? So where can people find you online?
They can find me online. You can go to my Instagram, which is Dark Squad Entertainment, all together, no spaces. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Eclipse of Dark Squad Entertainment. And also just got my Facebook business page up, which is Eclipse with a hyphen Dark Squad Entertainment. And yeah, shout out to Mama Spider, Lyrical Assassins, Uncle Cook, Cousin Mike, Cousin Chris, my sis Kiana, Bianca Bonds, moms, all y'all who out there just rocking with me. I appreciate y'all. And my man Mo Digger, who's from this area, who made the beat for the Game Over song too. Much love to him as well.
Dope. Well, look, this has definitely been a great interview, man. Like, I'm glad we got to chop it up. It's crazy, like how many intersections and links that we actually have from the past.
Right.
So this was meant to be. It was supposed to happen. Keep doing what you're doing. Like we definitely gonna connect. We definitely gonna make some things happen. I'm impressed with everything you're doing. I'm excited to see what's coming next. If you want to come back on, premiere something, show something.
Absolutely.
You got it. Flew West will definitely give you the platform to put it out there.
I appreciate it.
Any last words that you wanted to throw out before we get out of here?
Yeah, for everybody that's on here that I know that's supporting me, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all motivate me, and I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the support and motivation that y'all give me. Y'all encourage me so much, and I appreciate it. For anybody who might be watching that I don't know, who's new to what I'm doing, I appreciate y'all too. Please stay tuned for what's to come. You will not be disappointed when my album comes out. I'm giving you nothing but bangers. I put my heart into this album, and I promise not to let you down.
No doubt, no doubt. Donnie, it's gonna be on you to close us out. I think we've definitely got the resign request. Instead of letting the planes fly today, I think we got to.
I can't let the supporters down, brother. I refuse, because I ain't gonna be able to show the face of DC if I don't play this daggone record.
Yes, indeed.
But now, listen. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is Two Flu West. Please like us, subscribe. Please like us, subscribe with Dot Squad Entertainment, and please like us, subscribe Eclipse, man. Make sure you follow this brother, man. Listen. Too many times we don't talk enough about how brothers is doing their damn thing. It's easy to talk about what brothers ain't doing. But when brothers is actually doing their damn thing, bro, you got to get in them flowers. And that's what we do on Two Flu West, is we get people their flowers when it, you know what I'm saying, right here and now, while they with us. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that, Patrice, I hear you, Patrice. We got you. I'm trying to tell you, she go be at my mama house. My mama right there at my mama house.
In case you
But again, you doing your thing, man.
Thank you, man.
Your flowers, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, brother. Like and subscribe to Flu West. Follow Nick Baker on Instagram. Follow Donnie B.GotDaBeats on Instagram. Follow Eclipse on Instagram. Follow us on all social media. Google us. Yes. We out here. DMV, stand up. We doing our thing. Black is magic.
That's Black Girl Magic. The McBride sisters. Black owned wine. Oakland. Yeah. Shout out to McBride sisters.
Okay. All right, we need to get them up.
I'm gonna give him a plug, gotta give him a plug.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Clips, what you wearing, man? Because I see brother, shout out to Lyricist, by the way. That's another DMV homegrown jump.
Okay. Check them out. Where can I check this stuff out at?
I got you. I connected. It's my man D. He with Obsession Band, but I look, we're gonna make all these connections, man.
Yeah, please do. Please do. I definitely want to get with that. Well, you say what am I wearing?
Yeah, what you got?
Man, I don't know. This is a shirt I got from Last Stop. I mean, not Last Stop. Downtown Locker Room.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Great gang. I'm with it though.
Yeah, I love it.
That's on fire. Shout out Military Press Network. Shout out Lifers. Shout out to DTLR, man. I miss DTLR, man. But nonetheless, oh yeah, shout out to Biggie. Rest in peace. Nonetheless, like I said, we gonna go out with a bang. We ain't gonna let the planes fly today. We're gonna let it be the game over. By Eclipse, Dot Squad Entertainment. Make sure you like and subscribe to us on social media. So please support us. Everybody have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. And anything left, guys?
That's it. Let's get it.
All right, here we go. Game over. We out.
Who better than I to kick the door in and shut the game down? I'm about to hit reset. Every song I hit got the same sound. Flow clap like an AK, spit rapid fire a flame round. Incinerate the ops of those rhythms. So if it came down, the niggas testing the water, it was manslaughter immediately. Murdered lyrically from an assault, unleashing repeatedly. There's no ducking the cover, hit from every angle so heatedly. It's time that y'all discover why no niggas ever defeated me. Break them down like fractions with voltage higher than lightning bolts. With the most frightening reactions of horror, bringing this to a halt. Pretty much I'm a one-man army and now I'm charging in. And I don't need an invite, I'm disrespectfully barging in. Checkmate, nigga. It's game over. I'm one for the ages. I'm deadly on stages. It's war on who rages. It only enrages the chance of rampages towards he who engages. Things will get outrageous when the beast out the cages. No chance of survival. I'll annihilate any rival. In my time of arrival, killing any chance of revival. And you're liable to catch a heat stroke. My breathing alone is cold red. I speak and then the beat smokes. I'm dynamite. I explode heads. Widespread combustion. My radius has no boundaries. Generous with destruction with arsonist traits surrounding me. With more drive than a chauffeur. When I hit the pedal, I'm going to floor it. Message to the king to take off the crown, cause I'm coming for it. Checkmate, nigga. It's game over. It's best to take precaution. You be warned of a heat advisory. Highly flammable, playing with fire just isn't wise to me. Scolding hot flames are burning. The curious one who tries to see DOA right away, daring to be greatly. He tried to be hazardous to provoke me. I'm beyond human ability. My mind works at a pace of an abnormal agility. So feel the impact of a heart I'll be hitting. It's over in facts, so goodbye and good riddance. The bars are intact just in case you're forgetting. Cranking up the heat to the fire that I'm spitting. Now I'm quicker to aim above the figure, the flame. The flow is sick and insane. I'm pretty sick in the range. You wanna hit when I'm spraying. You're getting caught up in the thick of the slain. And getting wet with every drip in the rain. It's like a kick in the vein, like a brick in the cane. Hitting the tip of your frame to get a grip of the pain. You're being stripped of your fame. When I load to get the rip in the game, you out of pocket, better stick to your lane. Checkmate, nigga. It's game over. Checkmate, nigga. It's game over. Beware, it's R.I.P. when going against M.E.B.E.S.T. and DMV on the M.I.C. It's not just me, clearly a E.L.I.T.E.T.E.S.T. Even Christ's father said O.M.G. They'll arrest me for murdering the first, better tell them. Shells will drop from lyrical shots that are K.I.double-L-'em. So you might wanna think it over. For you decide to offend me, they'll be picking you up off the G-R-O-U-N-D. I'm simply amazing, the flows got them crazy, their eyeballs raising whenever I spit. The shots never grazing the critics, so praising the way I be phrasing the bars when they hit. No way to debate it, it's been long awaited for this was created. The fuse has been lit, so love it or hate it, I've just indicated. Once you're penetrated, it's over, that's it. Checkmate, nigga.